Even all international district state officers, past and present, of Omega Psi Phi fraternity, and special greetings to our panelists and attendees. My name is Barry Walker. I serve as the chairman of your Fatherhood Conversation for the State of Georgia Organization of Omega Psi Phi fraternity. I would like to welcome you to our second installment of the Fatherhood Conversation for the fiscal year. This program is a collaboration between the State of Georgia Organization and the Department of Human Services. This partnership has and continues to inform Georgia citizens of the Fatherhood program and the services that it provides. We will now ask Brother Travis Mays, the Georgia State Chaplain, to open the program up with a word of prayer.
Thank you, sir, and good evening, brothers. Won't you pause and pray with me? God, how we thank you for allowing us to assemble ourselves together for such a great, grand, and worthy cause. We pray now that what is shared on tonight will be indeed beneficial and helpful. And may we continue to just learn, and as we learn, continue to change our communities, our cities, our states, our world. Thank you for the leadership. Thank you for those who will share with us. May everything flow and go exceedingly well. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Brother Mays. At this time, we would like to recognize and ask our state representative, Brother Timothy Block, to bring greetings from his office.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our fatherhood conversation for this month. Of all the programs that we do, and we do a lot of programs throughout the state of Georgia for Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. This partnership with the Georgia Department of Human Services and this fatherhood conversation is indeed one of the most impactful initiatives that we've undertaken. We ask that you pay great attention to the information that's being shared. There's going to be some nuggets that you all can take back and really, really utilize to be more informed and engaged and be a part of your children's lives. I want to steal from our immediate past state representative. One of the things that he says during these calls is that this program works, but you have to work the program. So with that, I will yield back to you, Brother Walker.
Thank you, Brother State Rep, Brother Timothy Block. A couple of administrative notes for our attendees. If you have questions, please place them in the chat box feature. And one last reminder, you may view a recording of this program on the State of Georgia Omega Psi Phi Facebook and YouTube platforms. We ask that you share this information with all you know as we continue tonight efforts on Americus, Georgia, and the surrounding areas. Keep in mind that this program is available to every non-custodial parent paying child support in the state of Georgia. Now, I'd like to yield the floor to Mr. John Strickland, Georgia Department of Human Services Fatherhood Manager, and he will serve as our moderator for this evening. Mr. Strickland.
Thank you, sir. It is a privilege of mine again to be with the Omegas and the panelists that's working tonight to present the services, the resources that are offered within the service areas of our conversation. We do hope and pray that what we say will be very, very beneficial, and that, as has already been indicated, you will receive some information that will enable you to make a difference in your profession, in your education, in your employment, and most important, in your family. So we've got a very distinguished panel gathered with us tonight. So what I'm going to do is give an opportunity for our panel members to introduce themselves and tell you the agency that they are representing and the services that they can offer as we get ready to dive into our conversation. I'll start with Miss Cynthia. Miss Cynthia?
Miss Cynthia is muted.
Greetings on behalf of South Georgia Technical College, Americus. I'm Cynthia Carter, the Director of Career Services.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Miss Virgilia.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Virgilia Edge. I am the Workforce Career Coach here with Eckerd Connects Paxson.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Mr. Carl?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Carl Reed, and I'm More Perfect Union Fellow and Brickyard Leader in the Americus Sumter County area. I'm also a Certified Workforce Development Professional, and it's great to be here.
All right, Miss Gina?
Good evening, everyone. I am an office manager with the Division of Child Support Services.
All right, Miss Lisa?
Good evening, everyone. I want to welcome everybody. I am your local fatherhood resource specialist. I cover Macon, Sumter, Sly, Lee, Webster, and Stewart counties.
Thank you, and Miss Tracy?
Thank you, John. My name is Tracy Blunt. I've been serving with child support for 20 years now. I'm currently the grant specialist for access and visitation. I hope that the people that are listening tonight will take an opportunity to truly listen to what we're offering, because you never know, it could change your life.
All right, I appreciate that so very, very much. Let me say again to each one of you panel members, thank you for giving. And I want our viewers and listeners to hear me when I say, thank you for giving of your time tonight to share with us the services that you are providing in your counties and your surrounding areas, and to the participants of the Georgia Fatherhood Program. We're doing a little bit different this year as we present the conversations within the Georgia Fatherhood Program. And one of the things that we're trying to do a little bit different is to introduce to our viewers and our listeners participants in the Fatherhood Program who have a success story to tell you, and those who have been very successful in the Georgia Fatherhood Program. So tonight we have an individual, a gentleman that has successfully completed the Georgia Fatherhood Program. I'm going to just call him Mr. Ed, and I'm going to yield the floor now and let you be introduced to him as he tells you about his story.
Hi, my name is Evan. I'm a participant in the Fatherhood Program, and Miss Corey is my agent. The Fatherhood Program helped me when I lost my job to ensure I didn't lose my license or end up in jail, so I could come seek other opportunities. I'm currently working, and I have an opportunity for a better position. If it wasn't for the Fatherhood Program, none of this would be possible. Thank you, Miss Courtney.
All right. Thank you so much. We're going to try through these conversations in 25, 26. We're going to try to make sure that we introduce you to some of our success stories, individuals who have made a difference in our program. We want to make a difference in the lives of individuals who come and enroll in the Georgia Fatherhood Program. But at the same time, those individuals who enroll in our program, they make a difference in our lives as well. Let me begin by allowing Miss Tracy, if she would, to give us some statistics about the need of fathers in the home, and some information that she shared with me that I thought was phenomenal. And it's very, very impactful. And we will expound on that in a moment or two. And Tracy, at the same time, tell us a little bit about the success with access and visitation.
Thank you, John. So the Access and Visitation Program is designed to provide meaningful benefits for both the parents and the children of Georgia, while supporting our DCSS mission, Stronger Families for a Stronger Georgia. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, 17.6 million children, nearly 1 in 4, live without a non-custodial parent in the home. That is enough children to fill up the city of New York twice and to fill up Los Angeles 4 times over. So non-custodial parents not being involved is a great impact on our society. You know, we as outreach staff, we've been given this, I think, unique opportunity to make it better today than what it was yesterday for our participants. And we get to see the impact every single time that a non-custodial parent connects with his child that he hasn't seen in years. When the custodial parent realizes that the anger that she's held on to for so long has hindered her child's development and chooses to have a healthier path forward. When you hear stories from children who are genuinely excited to have visited their other parents, when a child no longer feels caught in the middle of the parental conflict, and when we help parents understand that every outreach program is working toward one unified goal, the child's best interest, that is when you see the impact.
I appreciate that. One of the greatest things that we have are our children. They help change and shape and form our society, our communities, even families in the future. So the statistics that you have shared with us, Tracy, I wanted to follow up those statistics with what the gentleman said in the success story. He gave a shout out to Miss Lisa. He gave a shout out to the Georgia Fatherhood Program. And he did say that he would not be here if it was not for the Georgia Fatherhood Program. So I am excited to introduce our viewers, our listeners to a program that for the last 25 plus years has made a difference in the lives of individuals. So as we think about what we're going to be discussing, it is the Georgia Fatherhood Program, but it's the participants in the Georgia Fatherhood Program who makes a difference in the communities where they live, and they make an impactful difference in the families that they love and serve, and do everything that they possibly can to ensure that that family is taken care of in the most positive ways. So as we begin to think about the Georgia Fatherhood Program, the Georgia Fatherhood Program came into existence in 1997. It's been around since 1997, went statewide in 1998. And in all honesty, it is, in my opinion, one of the most powerful, productive outreach programs within the Division of Child Support Services. So I want to yield the floor to Lisa, if I can, and let Lisa elaborate a little bit on the Georgia Fatherhood Program and help us to understand who can enroll in the Georgia Fatherhood Program.
Thank you, Mr. Strickland. Yes, as he was saying, our program is phenomenal, and I can attest to that. We were actually awarded the national, I believe we were awarded the national best non-custodial program in the nation just this year. And these success stories that we present to you are a testament to that. One of the things is that to enroll, you have to be a non-custodial parent. You can be male or female, mother or father, have an active case open, and be able to work. It is a work-based program, and we just ask that when you enroll, that you're not in a contempt order at that time. And that's it. You can be referred by your local office agent and attend an orientation and be enrolled in the fatherhood program.
Okay. All right. Let's build on that just a little bit if we can, Lisa. So we'll go to Gina, who is the office manager for the Division of Child Support Services. Gina, elaborate on us, if you would, elaborate for us, if you would, about the referral process, what you instruct your agents in the local office to do, how they refer individuals to the Georgia Fatherhood Program and or other outreach programs in the Division of Child Support Services.
Okay. The referrals are quite easy. Someone can actually do their own referral if they sign a deferral for their driver's license to stop a suspension or to release a suspension. They can do that on the app, or they can come here into the office, and the agents are always encouraged in all of the offices across the state to look at ways to help people get back to work. If they're unemployed or underemployed, people who have been recently released from some sort of incarceration. We have a lot of people in a local situation where that's a source that will help stop all the enforcement actions so that they can have time to get the employment and help finding the employment, the people in the area who are hiring, and they work together with the fatherhood agents to find those sources. And the referral process is quite easy, and it completely stops the enforcement actions from happening once they do enroll.
Okay. All right. When your agents in the local office began to look at a individual and they determined in their mind that that individual might be eligible for the Georgia Fatherhood Program, they would look at the situation and assess if that individual was underemployed or unemployed. And then we would move them to the Georgia Fatherhood Program.
Correct. If someone's in a working part-time situation and just having a hard time finding that full-time employment or earning enough to pay support and earn a living wage for themselves and their own household, because it's not all about just paying the support. We want to help the children. Of course, that's our number one goal, is to support the children. But it's also because it's not a deadbeat dad situation. We've never found that to be the case, really. It's usually dead broke, just trying to make enough to support their own household and to pay their support. And that's the goal.
Okay. All right. So when we identify those individuals for the last 20 plus years, we have been making referrals from the local office to the Georgia Fatherhood Program. One of the outreach programs, we have our PAC program. That's another outreach program within the Division of Child Support Services. And the local office agents makes referrals to these programs so that they can become full-time employed. But we don't want an individual just to obtain a job. We would like to have an individual to obtain a career so that they could work on a job, not just for 6 months to a year or 2 years, but we would like for them to be involved in a career where they could work 25, 30, 35 years at a particular place and retire with retirement benefits. And I want to say that to our viewers and listeners because it is important. We do everything that we can to not get you a job. We do everything that we can to help you obtain a career. Those that enroll in the Georgia Fatherhood Program, we want them to obtain a career. So I'll go back to Lisa and I'll ask Lisa, elaborate for me, if you would, how the program helps an individual.
Once you've entered the fatherhood program, you will have what's called an initial accountability session, and I will one-on-one go through your current situation and craft a plan for you, whether that includes some training, a short-term training, or you need some resume writing or interview skills, whatever that may be. We also will provide you with leads, and I work closely with our resource agent to identify employers in the area that are hiring at that time, and not just, something just to get you by, but something that will be a long-term goal.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And that is very, very good. And that's the reason that we have a panel tonight in our conversation of those resources that you and the Fatherhood Program refers to. Let's start with Miss Cynthia. Miss Cynthia is with South Georgia Technical College, I do believe, and we make referrals to her campus so that our participants can enroll into areas of training. So Miss Cynthia, if you would, please elaborate for us how you work with our participants whenever Lisa makes a referral to the technical college for any type training. Name some of those trainings. Give us some caveats that is related to those trainings, like how they would enroll, what they're offered after they enroll, etc. Do that for me.
Okay, I'm thinking about now the commercial truck driving program, which is very meaningful. The first process is for a applicant or for a student to complete an application for admission. And there are several bullets that they must complete prior to becoming a part of the program. The application, there is a $25 non-refundable application fee. The CDL program, for example, it's an 8-week program, and the applicant must be 18 years of age or older. No prospective students out of state less than 21 years old. There must be a motor vehicle report covering the past 7 years for a person that's interested in the commercial truck driving program. They must also have a valid driver's license. Very key, a valid driver's license. And also they must provide us with a valid DOT physical exam. In that physical exam, from a local doctor or med stop or walk-in clinic, it must be submitted prior to admission in the 8-week program. So there are opportunities for the commercial truck driving program, a high demand area. And then the CDL program provides certification for the basics of operating a truck, whether it's short haul, over the road, long term. And students can apply, or an applicant can apply on the Americus or the Cordele campus to enroll in the program. And drug testing is done prior to admission in the program. So a physical exam, I must stress, and a drug test are required prior to becoming a part of the 8-week CDL program. One other key point is it is a minimum of 9 semester credit hours, and that's the CDL certification. And it's $139 per credit hour. So there's a cost that's associated with it. Here I have a note that the program is $1,977.
Okay. All right.
And there is help. There's help
yes.
with that.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go. We're going to get you and Lisa involved here with this question, okay? If CDL is one of the hot tickets throughout the state of Georgia with
it is
fatherhood participants.
Right.
And when you said $1,977 is pretty much the cost, tell us how a participant would pay that cost. Are there scholarships? Are there grants? And then we'll pitch that question to Lisa. Let's say that they don't qualify for some of those scholarships or grants. Are they hopeful or are they hopeless?
They're not hopeless, but there are grant opportunities. There are scholarships. What comes to mind with me is our South Georgia Tech Foundation, but then there are other grants and financial opportunities available. And I wanted to tick mark and say the CDL program, you can attend from 8 to 3, or you can do nights 5 to 9. So there are opportunities to help the students or potential student with the $1,977. There are grants and funding support, financial support available to help the prospective student.
Okay. All right. So we want our viewers and listeners to slow down now and listen to what you just said. If an individual is desirous to go to school, South Georgia Technical College, there are grants and scholarships that they can receive for their training. Now, Lisa, let's give a little bit more hope, okay? Let's hypothetically say that an individual did not qualify for some of these scholarships or some of the hopeful scholarships, grants, etc. What does the Georgia Fatherhood offer? Does the Georgia Fatherhood offer anything additional to help them?
Absolutely. Georgia Fatherhood Program will offer, we will pay the tuition on any short-term programs such as CDL, usually about a semester. that federal and grants will not cover. In fact, I do have two students right now at South Georgia Technical that had been unable to secure federal and state funding, and the Georgia Fatherhood Program was able to fund both of those students this semester. And each one of them only had one more semester to go. In fact, one only had two classes that he needed to graduate, and they will both be graduating this December.
All right. So when there were financial difficulties for whatever reason, when there were financial difficulties, the Georgia Fatherhood Program came through for the participant. And that is the reason that Mr. Ed, in our success story, gave you a shout out and gave the technical college a shout out. It is what your two entities did for that gentleman that made a difference in his life. So because we're affiliated with the technical college, and the technical college is affiliated with the Georgia Fatherhood Program, the Division of Child Support Services, and we have resources to help individuals, we are making a difference in their lives. Well, let's try to get all of our panel members involved. Let's say that there are individuals who are struggling, because the truth of the matter is simple. Every single person that walks and breathes find themselves in a struggle from time to time. So that's just a part of life. It's a natural occurrence. We don't know when it comes, but we all know that it is coming, and it does come. So whenever an individual is struggling, we've got a more perfect union program resource that is offered to our participants. So Mr. Carl, if you would, how about telling us a little bit about your resources and what you're doing to assist and serve a participant in the Georgia Fatherhood Program that finds themselves in a struggling moment of life. And make sure you come off mute. All right. Mr. Carl, are you there? I know we are.
There's nobody else here?
We can hear you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm sorry. More Perfect Union is a national profit organization, and our goal is to bridge divisions, to just be a bridge within our community. It's all over the United States. And one of the things that we've been to help with the fatherhood program is our three pillars of service, which is civic service projects and human connection. And through some of those things, we're able to pull from other resources and refer people to connections that they would not normally have or know about. One of the things was through the Association of Chamber of Commerce Executives Foundation, or the ACCE. We had three participants come from the fatherhood program. They wanted to get a certificate in forklift. They didn't have the funds to pay for it. We're able to find those funds for them to pay for their classes. They got their certificate, and they're all three of them are employed right now. So it's things such as that we can do.
Okay. And I do like the way that you connected the Georgia Fatherhood Program, the Georgia Fatherhood participant, in conjunction with the services that you offer. And I'm reiterating now, because I want to make sure that those who are listening and those that are viewing heard you. You said that there were no less than 3 individuals that the Fatherhood Program referred to you, and you were able to assist them with some additional training. And that training led them to find places of employment. So those weren't the first participants. The good news, those aren't going to be the last participants.
Agree.
And the great news is, whenever this conversation ends sometime tomorrow, you'll get more referrals and more interest for what you are doing with our participants, for our participants through your program. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about employment opportunities. Miss Virgilia, tell us a little bit what a individual has to do in order to apply for the services of Eckerd Connections.
Well, in order for an individual to apply for our services, they have to meet our eligibility requirements. And that looks like for our adults, they have to be receiving SNAP benefits or government assistance, haven't been employed in 26 weeks. They can be employed, but they have to meet an income threshold. I don't have that information with me, but I can make sure I get that to you all so you all can know what that looks like for us. They can reach out to our office via phone or come into our office. Once we get the information that we need from them, we can determine if they are eligible for our services. Once that we determine eligibility, we will require them to bring in all documents at intake. Those documents include driver license, social security cards. If they have any additional barriers, if they have criminal background history, we'll need that as well. Proof of government assistance, we'll need that. They will have to complete a TABE assessment, that's reading and math, to determine basic skills deficiency. And that pretty much includes what we'll need for our services.
Okay. Can you, I don't know that we can do this or not because, we didn't rehearse this. So tell me if we can or we can't.
Okay.
You take our participants that we refer to you that
Okay.
has the needs that you've just identified for us, and you help assist them with employment. And if so, can you tell us a little bit about the employment opportunities that our participants would receive through your services?
Yes, we work with in-school youth, out-of-school youth, and adults. For our out-of-school youth, that's ages 17 to 24. So if any of the participants that Ms. Lisa refer over to us are between 17 and 24, the same goes for eligibility. Once we determine eligibility, we sit down and have a conversation with them, talk about what their career goals are, talk more in depth about that so we can figure out how we can help them. Now, for our youth 17 to 24, we take them through career pathways, essential workplace skills, resume writing, cover letter writing, all of that so we can get them workforce ready. And we also provide paid work experience where they do about 200 hours at $10 an hour. We try to find them a job site based on what their career interests are, right? For our adults, that's our OJT program. What we like to do with that program is partner with businesses to reimburse them for hiring and training their new employees. Now, sometimes when we get a participant, we may not have a job for them or a work site for them, but that does not mean we cannot help them. We had a participant come in, Ms. Lisa referred them about 9 months ago. And I just actually checked on him today to see how things were going. He is still employed. He came to us for services. Yes, he came to us for services. We talked a little bit to try to figure out what it was that he wanted to do. There were a few things he wanted to do, but we finally narrowed it down. I assisted him with filling out his resume, doing the cover letter. I actually sat down with him to fill out some job applications. He had one interview set up that didn't go through because he was already hired for a job that I assisted him with applying for. And he let me know once he got hired that they offered him an assessment to see where he was for a different position and an increase in pay. I reached out to him today. He's still doing well. He's enjoying what he's doing. So that's what we offer.
There you go. Again, I reiterate, we don't just give people momentary opportunities. We hope that we give them opportunities that will change their life futuristically and establish placement into a career. Mr. Carl, when the Fatherhood program makes a referral to a more perfect union, I know you talked about forklift a few minutes ago. Are there any other trainings that you guys can assist our participants in?
Well, we can assist an individual on anything, because what we do is connect. So if an individual is referred to me, I have a discussion with them. We talk about what their desires are, what their goals are for workforce. South Georgia Tech Community College and Miss Carter, they're a great resource. Um, so if an individual is looking to get long-term training, I on my end will go out and seek out grants and funding and things that may be needed to get them to their goal. My goal for More Perfect Union, our goal is for empowerment. So we want to empower the individual. We can't do the work for them; they have to do the work, but we can empower them.
All right. I like that. And it's kind of like Mr. Block said a few minutes ago, and Mr. Jones has said that our program with our resources will work if individuals will work the program. We will empower them to the resources that they need if they will perform the work involved. When we start thinking about that, Miss Virgilia and Carl, kind of throw this out, if you will. I know this is a difficult question now. We might not can answer it. But through the resources and the placements and the empowerments that we offer our participants through your resources, what might they find themselves earning? Can you guys kind of give us a target area? Make it enticing. Be honest, but make it enticing for them if you can. Mr. Carl?
I'll let Virginia start.
Okay.
That one.
Well, I would say, depending on the industry and the area, when they come in, I cannot guarantee them they will start out making $20, $30 an hour. And we also have to be realistic about the experience that they do have. And I've had to have those conversations before with some individuals to let them know, hey, depending on the area, we just have to be real about where we are, right? Um, Most of the time, I ask them what they're looking for. I can't, I don't have an answer to say, hey, this is what you'll be making. We have to ask what you're looking for and what's sustainable for you and your household. So that's how we kind of have that conversation. That's how that conversation is kind of led and guided to ask some questions to see what their income or what their financial goals are for themselves and for their families.
Okay. All right. All right. Mr. Carr, you want to elaborate any?
Well, and I agree with Miss Virginia. It really is going to depend on the industry. It really depends on there's a few factors. Their experience, their education. But what so I don't like to say, okay, this is what a person can expect to make. What I'd like to say is, if you start here, what's your goal to get further? Healthy families mean well-rounded individuals. I also like to get them involved in civic engagement. I also like to get them involved in service projects, things where they are able to connect and make connections with other people that can get them to the next level. When we talk about employers right now, a lot of employers are focused on soft skills. So, MPU, with the three pillars that we have, we try to provide those soft skills that employers are looking for. They can teach person skills. You can't teach people soft skills.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I want to kind of go back in history because I'm an old head, if I can say that, with the Georgia Fatherhood Program. I've been around it a long, long time. And I want to reiterate what you guys are saying with what happened to me many years ago whenever I was conducting orientation. I was saying the very same thing that you have said, Carl and Virgilia, what you are saying. I was telling guys, about earnings and jobs, employments and work. And I had one guy in the orientation who robustly spoke up and said to me in front of everybody, he robustly said, I don't work for minimum wage. And I looked at him and I smiled, and I smiled the second time. And then I asked him the question, that essential question: where did you tell me you were working? And he said, I'm not working. And I said, well, you're telling me that a $7 raise or a $10 raise won't be advantageous to you? I said, if you start making 7 or you start making 10 when you're making nothing, I would think that that is a substantial raise. We look at the high numbers and we want to start high and keep going higher. But the truth is, sometimes we have to start where we are qualified to start. And when we start where we're qualified to start, those numbers will increase. So what you two are saying about your resources is paramount in conjunction with the Georgia Fatherhood Program. It's not what we say we won't do that makes a difference. It's what we're willing to do that makes a difference in our scenarios. So I do appreciate what you two have just said and the way that you helped our listeners and viewers understand. We can't promise them the sun, the moon, and the stars, but we can promise them that we will be with them every step of the way to ensure that success finds them. And the only way it wouldn't find them is if they weren't looking for it, because we would be there along beside them to help them look for it. So thank you for those comments. I appreciate it very, very much. Tracy,
absolutely. And John, if I may, I want to say this. I know Lisa knows this. I came from the Fatherhood Program, so they're not just hearing about numbers. The people who are here, you can see a success story. I just thought I'd like to share that with the individual.
Well, now listen, when I say this to you, if you made an old man like me, you made my heart smile on the inside. You have made my heart smile. I knew that you were a gentleman, and I knew that there was something unique and special about you, but I didn't know it was the Georgia Fatherhood Program that you had part of. So thank you for being a testimonial for our program. And thank you for being a success that individuals that you now are serving can look at and see the great difference that individuals like you make in the community. I appreciate you, Mr. Carl, more than you know. I appreciate you. So let's go to Tracy, and let's talk about children and parents. We know that the Division of Child Support Services believe that children need both parents. So that's the reason that we have access and visitation. Access and visitation is very, very important. So Tracy, if you would, for me and for us, help us to understand some of the key components of access and visitation, the way that they serve the Georgia fatherhood participants, and maybe throw us out some statistics as to what access and visitation and the Georgia Fatherhood Program have done together in our unity.
Thank you, John. So in FY25, we, for access and visitation, had 2,456 referrals. Okay. Out of those 2,400 referrals, Fatherhood alone completed 686 of those referrals. Okay. We were able to service 439 children that would have never had a relationship or a visitation with their parent had it not been for the referrals. Okay. Over 1,056 parents enrolled in access and visitation. we don't think about, the impact that a non-custodial parent not being involved in a child's life. But there's great risk to kids. They live in poverty. They're more likely to become pregnant as teenagers. They're more likely to become incarcerated. They're more likely to even drop out of school. For children that have parents involved in their life where both people can put aside their relationships and do what's in the child's best interest, which we all try to promote, we find that children are emotionally well-being better. Okay, they are better academically, and I think that this one's great. That it reduces the feeling of guilt and responsibility of parent conflict, because we've all grown up in a home where there's been some type of conflict. Okay, but it doesn't just benefit the non-custodial parent. It doesn't just benefit the child. It benefits the parents too. Okay, because it helps reduce their stress. It helps them create a stronger family connection, and it opens up an opportunity for them to co-parent more efficiently. And we know that that's what we're about. And if it hadn't been for fatherhood, access and visitation would not be where it's at. We get success stories all the time for fatherhood agents that have sent referrals in. And it's great to see, we got one last month that a gentleman hadn't seen his child in 11 years, but because of the referral from access and visitation, he's seeing his kid again. So if you're sitting here and you're listening to what's going on and you're thinking, oh, I like the job and I like this and I like that, we have something else to offer you too. We have your children, and we have an opportunity to come put a family back together. And I think that that's the greatest accomplishment, getting educated, getting a job, being proud of yourself, and your children being proud of you. There is no greater gift, I think, that anybody could give a parent than those 4 or 5 things. And I am grateful for what you at Access, for access and visitation and what you do at Fatherhood. It is greatly appreciated.
Uh-huh. Over 600 referrals came through the Georgia Fatherhood Program that served to make a difference in the life of a parent and in the life of a child. Now, that is impressive to me because I was placed in foster care whenever I was 6 years old. I am a product of the state of Georgia, and seeing how the Division of Child Support Services works through access and visitation, through the Georgia Fatherhood Program, through the resources of the panel members tonight, I'm telling our viewers, I'm telling our listeners that, the Georgia Fatherhood Program, it's one of the greatest engagements that an individual could involve themselves in. So access and visitation is a key player in what we do and making a difference in the lives of a child. And I appreciate you saying that, Tracy. While you had the floor, tell me just a little bit about legitimation. That comes up just about in every orientation. They want to know about legitimation. Give me just a little bit of information about legitimation and how you guys address it.
So legitimation is something that child support doesn't address. We know we only address a non-custodial parent's right to pay, but legitimation has so many benefits that are included. It's access to your children. It allows for your children's right of inheritance. Okay, when something happens to you, it strengthens the child's identity. And we don't think about, things like that. I hear a lot when I talk to dads or I talk to moms that are non-custodial parents, and they say to me, I have all these regrets, growing up, and I didn't do this and I didn't do that. My dad died in March of this year, as you know, and I had to speak at his funeral. And one of the things that I thought about was regrets. Okay. He was a very stubborn man, hence probably why I'm so stubborn. Okay. So there was a time that things were not cool between us or whatever. And so the night that I was writing his speech, I looked up in the Webster's and it talked about regret and what it is. It talks about sadness and a loss. But in a small parentheses, it says missed or lost opportunities. Okay. And I had a lot of those with my dad. Okay. And I hope tonight that the people that are listening here take the opportunity to remember that, because you don't get it back. I don't get to go back and fix the wrong, between me and my dad, but Everyone on this call tonight gets the ability to change not only their life, their family life, their kids' life, and that's the greatest gift that we at Fatherhood or Access and Visitation or even DCSS could give to somebody. So my advice to you is to work to prepare your relationship, be there to show up, choose to connect over pride, and not to ever be as stubborn as me, okay? Because there are regrets, okay? And I take after my dad, and I'll have to say that, but you learn from your mistakes. And I think that that's my love for fatherhood so much, and my love for AV.
I hear you, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. One of the greatest privileges that we have in life is an opportunity to be involved in somebody else's life. That's a great opportunity. And I do hope that we heard what you said, that we will not waste those opportunities. And that's the reason that we're saying to those who are viewing and listening tonight, please take advantage of the resources that are being offered to you, because the Georgia Fatherhood Program and all of our partners here that are giving of their time wish you nothing but the best. Let's talk about that hard subject, driver's license. If legitimation is one of those conversations that come up, driver's license is one of those conversations that always comes up in an orientation. So let's go back to Lisa. Lisa, what does the Georgia Fatherhood Program offer a participant when they enroll in conjunction or referencing their driver's license?
Once a participant is fully enrolled in fatherhood, you will have the opportunity, if your license has been suspended, to reinstate it. And as long as you're doing what we've asked of you throughout your time in fatherhood, your license is protected from action being taken against you. Sometimes when you sign the forms and agree to go into fatherhood, as long as you participate in the orientation and you do your terms and conditions to be fully enrolled, you may not have to worry about the suspension. It will be overridden.
Okay. All right. So enrolling in the Georgia Fatherhood Program gives an individual an opportunity to deal with the issue of not having a driver's license if child support has suspended those licenses. Gina, let me come back to you. We hadn't completely forgotten about you. Some of our participants are going to go to work. Through the resources of our panel members and other resources, they are going to find areas of employment. We, through the Division of Child Support Services, have self-service options. If an individual cannot come to us, we will go to them through our self-service options. So how about from a manager's perspective and point of view, elaborate and introduce our viewers and listeners to our self-service options?
Well, we have our website, childsupport.org. We have our website where they can obviously go in, log into their case and review it there. Or the most popular way is our DCSS on the go mobile app. They can register if they're registered online. It's the same login information. If you have trouble logging in, you can come to the office and agents will help you to log in. They'll help you take the steps and do those self-service options. You can email the office from the app. You can send a message requesting a phone call from your agent on the app. And you can go onto the app and stop that suspension and fill that form out on the app and request the fatherhood program. They'll review your case. We do need a phone number or a email address or both. You have to have one of those on your case. So make sure that's there so that we can do the referral, because those orientations are virtual. So we do need those. So you don't even have to come into the office for the orientation.
Okay. All right. So if somebody can't come to us, we're going to them with our self-service options. Basically, we are accessible to all individuals and all areas throughout the state of Georgia. I'll say, because of the services that you just mentioned, 24/7. We might be out of sight, but we never out of mind. You can
Absolutely not.
always access us and find services from us and with us through the services that you just mentioned. Let's say that an individual comes to the Georgia Fatherhood Program and they don't have high school or GED. Lisa, how do you serve that individual? What do you do? Kind of give us an outline of what you do.
Once we have a participant that does not have their high school diploma or GED, we refer them for services. If they're in Americus, we refer them directly to South Georgia Technical Adult Ed Program. They can also, if they aren't able to have transportation to Americus, we have Family Connections offices in every county that you can go to and have actually aid with that with local instructors to be able to do that. And then when you go to adult ed, you are evaluated on 4 subjects. You can test out of those subjects if possible. So sometimes it's not as daunting as you think. It may only be 1 or 2 tests that you might have to study for to take to receive your GED.
Okay. It is there, and we may throw this to Miss Cynthia. Is there financial resources that is available to an individual?
Yes, virtually obtaining your GED is no cost. You will get these services free to you, and I believe Ms. Carter might be able to answer this better. At least the first time around with the evaluation test, those are also free.
And there are scholarships also available to help pay for testing.
Okay. All right. So while you have the mic, Cynthia, if you would give us a little bit of give us a little bit information about some of the other short-term courses, programs that are offered at South Georgia.
Well, our welding program comes to mind. There are technical certificates and short-term certificates, short-term programs to help students. We also have our electrical line worker program. I talked to one of my coworkers today, Ms. Timmy Blunt, about our electrical line worker program, and students can enroll in that program as well. A bit pricey, but there are opportunities to help with that as well. If I think about our academic programs, there are lots of opportunities for short-term certificates. I think of welding, I think of automotive, numerous programs that we have at South Georgia Tech where students or where an individual can pursue a technical certificate of credit, a short-term 8 to 10 week program. Some may be 15, but there are opportunities without, going through the entire diploma or associate's degree program.
Okay. All right. And that's one good thing about the Georgia Fatherhood Program. We do work with those short-term programs at the technical colleges because the whole interest of our program is to take an individual who is underemployed or unemployed to get them trained as quick as they can. And I think I heard you say 8 weeks CDL could be obtained.
Yes.
That's
8 weeks.
pretty.
8
Yeah,
week.
that's pretty sharp.
It's an 8-week program. Given they can meet all the requirements that I've shared about completing the application, the physical exam, the drug testing, valid driver's license, we can help get them through the program.
Okay.
John, if
All
I
right.
may, excuse me.
Yes, go ahead.
Real quick. I want to put a pin in real quick to say that we also offer free GED services to ages 17 to 24 as well. Anyone over the age of 24, we send them right over to South Georgia Tech, those who we cannot serve.
Good. We and I hope that our viewers and listeners paid attention to that, which means that there are opportunities everywhere. That's the reason we've got such a distinguished panel. No matter in which direction we send someone, they can be served. I when the fatherhood conversation begins at 6, I think to myself, how are we going to finish? Well, then whenever 6:59 gets here, I remind myself we're supposed to finish at 7. So all good things have got to come to an end. So I want to say to our distinguished panel members, thank you again for giving of your time, your services to your community, to individuals is not forgotten. It will long be remembered, even after you have retired. What you are doing will be remembered. I do hope and pray that those who have paid attention to what you have said will take advantage of our offers, our resources. If you've never been affiliated with the Georgia Fatherhood Program and you are listening to my voice now, I'm going to encourage you. I'm going to beseech you to please go to your local child support office and inquire about a referral to the Georgia Fatherhood Program and enroll in an environment being introduced to people as you've heard tonight that I promise you will make a difference in your life. Again, panel members, thank you. And those of you who have been listening and viewing, thank you for giving us your time tonight. May it truly make a difference in your life as well as in your family's life. Thank you, and we'll see you at the next Fatherhood Conversation.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. South Georgia Tech stands ready to assist. Thank you.